What's up, you guys? Slim here, Team Symmetry, here to bring you guys a new episode of Slim Chat. I was debating what video I wanted to do today, and I originally was going to do either a back in the day or a tech for thought, but I thought about the tech for thought. It was going to be on Shield Crush, and honestly, I don't think it's really necessary because a lot of people already know about Shield Crush. They know about Nobleman and Crossout, and they know how good they are in the Gear matchup, so I really felt there was no point to do that. But instead, I wanted to cover a topic that I think is just kind of really important in this game. I do these chat episodes to kind of step away from the game and to really talk about something that is at times game related but can also relate to everyday life. So this episode is going to be on what you can learn from losing. And I know that that's a kind of a weird topic because people are like, I lost, I'm pissed, you know. How can you say I can learn anything from that? And I'll be honest with you guys, for all the games I've won, I've lost just as many, if not more, and I've learned so much from losing because it makes you better. Losing a game makes you better, and the reason why it makes you better is that it tells you that you still have stuff to work out in your deck. You still have plays that you have not discovered yet. You still have cards in there that don't belong in there, and you still have cards that you need to add to your deck. Now, there's multiple kinds of losses. There's a loss where your opponent just out-top decks you. The two most ridiculous cards to top deck that win games are Monster Reborn, reborning the last monster for game, or Heavy Storm because you Heavy Storm their field and then proceed to go for game. Cards like that, losses like that suck. It happens to everyone. A top deck Dark Hole, a top deck Heavy Storm, and top deck Monster Reborn just sucks. Like, honestly, you can't deny that that sucks. That you're in a winning position, all of a sudden one power card turns the whole game around and your opponent kind of pretty much in a sense sacks you out of the win. So that's one way that losses happen, and that's something that honestly in this game you have to just take into account and you have to accept it. You can't get mad that you lost to getting sacked. I mean, everyone does it, myself included. When we lose to getting sacked, we just get pissed because it's like I played the better game, but because they drew that one out, the one out in a 41 card deck, they won. But at the end of the day, they still won. But you still play on. You still move on. You still play on. If you lose to getting sacked, you lose to getting sacked. There's nothing you can do about that. The other kind of loss is when you lose pretty much on the wire. And what I mean on the wire is that you're down to very few cards in your deck and you run out of resources. I've had games running Dark World where I've run out of Dark World monsters, and I know there's absolutely no way I can win because I'm literally out of every possible monster that could strike for game, and there's no other way for me to win. I can't deck my opponent out. And that's another loss that you have to take sometimes too, is that sometimes you just run out of resources. Sometimes you go through your deck so fast and then you hit a wall, and that wall unfortunately prevents you from going any further. And sometimes you have to realize that, well, that happens. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! It happens. Every kind of loss happens, and I feel that you can still learn from that. You can learn to be more conservative in your plays, not to go all out in one giant kibosh and then have a single effect veil or single maxi, a single mirror force, bottomless, etc. stop you. That's where I think learning to be a conservative player is really important. I feel that by doing that, you can really benefit yourself when you win and benefit yourself when you lose. And I guess like the other kind of loss is sometimes you'll lose in time. Now this relates to people that play in the regional, nationals, and YCS events. You'll enter game 2 or 3, I believe it's game 3 usually, that goes to time, and you'll lose in time because your life points are lower. Unfortunately, the way that time works is you get 5 turns, starting with whoever started, their turn 0, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And sometimes you just lose in time due to life points, due to the fact that you cannot damage your opponent and their life points are higher at the end of the match. And unfortunately, that's another thing that just sucks, is that if your opponent just happens to have higher life points, you lose. You can't even really play it out. And that's their rule. You really can't argue with it. I don't agree with it. I feel that the game should be played out regardless, but if it was, games would be too long. 40 minutes is the regulation time, and then you get the 5 turns, and that's it. So that's one thing, is that you really can't argue with that. You can't slow roll the games. If you slow roll the games, like, that'll probably happen. You'll go to time. I myself have gone to time, and winning in time is not easy. Like, if you're already lower than your opponent, you really have an uphill battle because they can really just stall out during their turn to make sure you don't have an out. One card I can tell you that really is amazing in time is Compulsory Evacuation Device, because this card single-handedly can be the difference between you winning and losing, because you can end phase that to bounce their monster back, and you can use that to your advantage to win. And I think that that's really important, as well as using other cards. So those are the kind of losses. Now, people may say, how can I learn, from these things? You can learn to make better plays. You can learn that I lost because I chose to MST during my turn instead of the end phase, and they were able to chain something else and shut me down. That's one thing. You can learn that I shouldn't have overextended when all I needed was one monster on board and just needed to protect it. You could learn that I need to, you know, make smarter plays. I don't need to go for the obvious play. I don't need to go for Heavy Storm when they have 2 back rows. I don't need to do that. I need to see if I can bait their back row and save the storm. I believe that one thing I've learned in this game is that saving your power cards is the way you win. Your power cards are Heavy Storm, Monsterborn, Dark Hole. Those are some of the main power cards that every deck includes. And those are cards that you can really benefit from using properly. Dark Holing immediately sucks because later in the game, if your opponent spammed up a field, you have no out if you don't have Torrential. Using Reborn early sucks because unless like you have no choice, later on a Reborn could be the difference between you winning and losing. Same goes for Heavy Storm. When your opponent sets 2 back row and you automatically storm, and then they know your storm is gone, they're going to set a bajillion back row. It always happens. It's the most basic Yu-Gi-Oh! Fundamental thing I've seen is that if you Heavy Storm early, your opponent's going to set like 3 or 4 next turn. If they're running a lot of back row, the minute storm's gone, they breathe a sigh of relief and know that they have you. They have you. They have their Deep Prisons, their Bottomless, their Mirror Force, etc. They have their outs, and that's what sucks, is that if you are so quick to waste your power cards, you're really going to suffer because having those cards later on in the game is so much more beneficial. So that's something you can learn. That's something I've learned from overextending too much or making the wrong play. And the thing is, there's always a better play. There's always the obvious play, and then there's always a better play than that. And that's usually the route you should go. You should be the more conservative player, because unless you're playing a deck that literally is like all OTK based, like Bubble Beat OTK, you should play conservatively. Saving your best cards for later will really benefit you in the long run. And, you know, it's a game, you guys. You know, at the end of the day, it's a game, and you will win. Like, I can't tell you that you won't win. You probably will win a good majority of your games, but you're also going to lose just as many, if not more. And you really just have to take the loss with a grain of salt, because unless your opponent cheated, honestly, you lost the game because they had their cards they needed. When you lose, it's because your opponent had the cards you needed and you did not, and they outplayed you. They outplayed you either through skillful plays, smart conservative plays, or they just single-handedly shut all your plays down. It happens. Cards counter other cards. Some cards are better than other cards in situations, and making particular plays at a particular time is what really wins games. And that's something that I think everyone can just learn from, is that you're going to lose and you're going to get mad. Like, it's a human tendency. We want to win. You know, it's a competitive edge for anyone that's ever been an athlete, myself included. We're just competitive as hell. I'm competitive as hell with everything, whether it be sports, whether it be a fitness test, whether it be Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything makes you competitive, and it drives your competitive nature. And I think that when you lose, it's kind of good, because sometimes to step back and realize, you know, you have your flaws. You're a human being, you have your flaws, you have your mistakes. That's why pencils have erasers. And that's why decks can be edited, is that you maybe didn't make the best meta call, you didn't make the best card call, and you need to change some things and test them out. And testing is key. You know, you need to do a lot of test games to really perfect your deck, and you need to lose. You need to lose in order to win, because you need to learn the better play, so that when you are at a YCS, you are at a regionals, you are at nationals, you are at worlds, every play has its moment, every play has its purpose, and every play is the best play that you can make. And that's something that I've learned the most from losing, is that you will learn in time to make the better plays, and that will be what leads to your success and your victory. So that's all I gotta say, guys. I hope you guys like the video. I'm heading out to Bamm's Collectibles in Hayward today. If anyone sees this video, wants to come by, information's down below. That's where I hang out on weekends, so hopefully you guys will come through. Love to do some videos. Love to, you know, play you guys, talk, whatever. But anyways, you know, comment below, what do you guys think? What have you learned from losing? Aside from the obvious that, oh my god, my opponent sacked me, all this other crap. But you can really learn a lot from losing, and I feel that if you really think about it, every time you lose, you win, because you are learning something new, and that over time it will benefit you in the long run. So that's all I gotta say, guys. You know, thumbs up the video, let me know what you guys think. You know, 150, 200 likes for the next Slim Chat episode would be awesome. I will be doing more school duels next week, as well as I'll be having the Tech for Thoughts, the back in the day, all that other stuff, leading up to the next regionals, which is in November for me, followed by YCS Seattle. So let me know what you guys think. You know, thumbs up the video, comment below if there's anything else you want me to talk about. Is there a Slim Psychology topic you want me to talk about, like side decking, time, missing time, all that stuff? Just let me know, comment below, and I will do my best to bring you guys those videos. So that's all I gotta say, you guys. Thumbs up the video, everyone have a good day, and thank you for watching.